Gang, right now we're in smack middle of earnings season. And what does that mean? Volume spikes. Volume spikes gives you opportunities for bigger gains, but there's more risk. So the question is, how do we trade volume spikes the right way? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's class. And by the way, I created an amazing video that'll teach you everything about entry, exit, step-by-step instructions on how to trade volume spikes. Sign up below this video. Now let's get into the lab and talk about volume spikes. All right, we're back in the lab, and today we're going to talk about profiting from massive volume spikes. And I'm really excited about this topic, and I'll tell you why. Many traders tend to stay away or shy away from volume spikes because volume spikes means increased volatility. But there's a way to trade them. There's a secret to trading volume spikes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So as you can see in this example, this is what a volume spike looks like. This is Restoration Hardware Holdings. It's a public company. It's a fairly big public company, and you can see earnings came out around December 4th or 5th, and the stock jumped. It had about a 20% gain, and slowly thereafter, the stock started moving back down to fill the gap to the downside. And this is a very typical scenario. You see a very large spike, you see a very strong rise in volatility, and then day by day after the earnings or whatever the announcement is comes out, you see volume and volatility come back to normal over the next several days. And what most traders do is completely run away from volume spikes. They believe volume spikes are dangerous, there's too much volatility, and there's just too much noise, so they just run the other way. But if you know how to trade them correctly, there's massive opportunity there. And remember, volume spikes don't just occur during earnings season. First of all, not every company's on an earnings cycle, on a quarterly earnings cycle. So there's always earnings. But more importantly, there's announcements, there's buybacks. There's several types of causes or reasons for volume spikes to occur. So this doesn't just happen around earnings. It's predominant around earnings time, but it doesn't just happen around earnings. So volume spikes have a major upside, okay? You have increased volatility, and whenever you have increased volatility, you have bigger profits. And you should always know that. Whenever you see increase in volatility, that always equals bigger profit opportunities, because obviously when volatility expands, you have bigger chance to make more money. And if volatility is low, your chance of big profits is much lower. That's why tech stocks, for example, have bigger gains than Dow stocks or blue chip stocks, because there's more volatility. More volatility equals more profit potential. But there's always a downside. Whenever I say there's an upside, there's always a downside, because increased volatility equals bigger risk. But you always have to remember, volatility is a double-edged sword. Whenever you have more volatility, you have more risk. You have higher profit potential, but you have more risk as well. And folks, volume spikes is a serious business. There's potential for big opportunity if you know how to read them the right way. I created a complete step-by-step video tutorial to teach you how to trade volume spikes the right way. It'll help guide you along every step of the way. Just sign up below this video. So getting back to our demonstration, you need to remember two things to trade volume spikes the right way. You need to measure the volume spike and the price gain that occurs, because not all volume spikes qualify. So there has to be a certain threshold. And if it meets that threshold, the volume spike is tradable. So that's number one. Number two, you have to find the right entry zone. And every volume spike has a low risk entry zone. Okay? So number one, remember, you have to measure the volume spike and the price gain to make sure that it qualifies. Not every volume spike and price gain that happens afterwards is created equally. They're different, so you need to know how to measure them. And two, the key is finding the right entry zone. There's a lot of volatility, but if we find the right entry zone, we can profit from volume spikes. Now, I'm sure you've got lots of questions, like what entries and exits should you use when trading these spikes? So I created another video for you with step-by-step instructions on how to do it all. Earnings surprises happen fast, and knowing how to play these volume spikes is the key to your trading success at times like this. So watch this free video now. Just enter your email address below, and I'll give you free, immediate access to the volume spike trading video. Don't wait. Earnings are coming in hard and fast, and these volume spike opportunities are everywhere right now. So the sooner you watch this video, the better. I'll see you there.